Good morning, all of you. Welcome back to the course on cryptography and system security. During our previous session, we were discussing about the fundamentals or the basic steps which are related to the Elgamal digital signature algorithm. So, when we talk about any digital signature algorithm, right? If any user encrypts his data using its own private key, right? So, this information which act as a signature. The signature which proves that the message which has been coming from an authenticated user or authenticated parties, right? If you are asking any permission from the HOD or any the concerned authorities, and after signing in that, so that means that the signing authority has read your letter and accepted what you mentioned in the letter, and he has given the permission to do whatever which is written in the letter. So the signature of the HOD or the authoritative that provides that means that gives that information, right? So whatever the information which is written on the letter which has been authenticated or approved by the concerned authorities. Similarly, when we talk about digital signature, right? So this is used for proving an authentication to avoid duplications, right? So when we studied about the different types of attacks, we studied about the masquerade or fabrications. What is this masquerade attack? Right? A man in the middle or attacker, he will send a duplicate message or forged message. He will create its own message and he will send to the receiver. But actually, that message is not created by the actual sender, but instead, a man in the middle or an attacker, and is creating or is fabricating the message and is sending to the receiver. In that case, the attacker is trying to act as a authenticated users to avoid this kind of masquerade and other attacks, right? So this digital signature which become an important role to prove that whether the message is coming from an authenticated users. How this digital signature will prove whether the message is coming from an authenticated user or not? Because the data which has been transmitted to the receiver, the entire data which has been encrypted using sender's private key. So by the way, if the receiver wants to decrypt the data and he need to use it, the sender's alternate key, which is a sender's public key, right? Then only the data will be decrypted. Otherwise, you will not get the actual information. Right? By the way, this digital signature algorithm which helps to achieve an authentication in terms, right? So we were discussing about how this Elgamal digital signature algorithm. Initially, I was explaining about RSA algorithm, which will also be the signature algorithm, or which will also be one type of digital signature algorithm, right? Similarly, Elgamal digital signature algorithm, right? This is an variant of RSA algorithm where we will be using different constant as well as other entities through which we will try to achieve the digital signature. For that, the first step is that we need to calculate or we need to select a prime number p, and followed by this is prime divisor which is q minus 1, and followed by the alpha or g which is a primitive root, and followed by user or sender's private key which is xa. So based on this xa, and they will be doing a calculation of a public key which is ya. Ya is equal to alpha power xa. Through that, it will be generate a public key cryptography, and followed by k is the key, a random or the constant value which again it's an integer value which has been selected, and followed by the signature component which will be generated. When we talk about this signing process as well as validation process, the signing process which will be carried out at the sender side, right? So here, in order to do the signature, and it will generate two components, which is R. The first one is R, which is alpha power k and mod p followed by mod q. So this will generate a component R, and the second component is S, which is k inverse and followed by hash applied of m. H of m is H stands for hash, and m is the message or plain text, and followed by x is the private key of x, private key of a, and R is the signature component which we generated here, and mod q minus 1 which will produce yes. After this, these entities which are created, which is signature R comma S. I hope now you are clear bit. Okay, wait, I'll explain it. Now here, let me explain this. The first one is select P, right, and P minus 1, and followed by alpha, which is a primitive root, right, and exa or ex, which is private key of user A, or sender, you would assume private key of sender, and ya, which will be alpha power xa mod c, which is a public key, right, and followed by a k is a random integer again, right, and followed by this. Based on this value, again they will be calculating R value and then S value, right? So in the signature part, you will have two component R and S. These are the part of signature. In order to carry out this, we need the information like p value, q minus 1 value, or q, which is p minus 1, right? I hope you are clear. Q is p minus 1, and followed by alpha value, xa value, ya value, and k value. So based on these parameters, we'll apply the formulas and we'll get the two signature component, which will be R and S. Now these two information which are going to be transferred to the receiver, and they will be receiving these two components in terms of R dash and S dash, where R dash and S dash are received versions. Now, based on these values as well as this common global values PQ and alpha value, right? They will be generating the keys. They will be verifying the signature at the receiver end. How this is possible, I'll explain again. அதுதான் லேட் ஆயிடுச்சு. Okay, so the signature components, whatever the component which we generated, I was explaining about R dash and S dash. So these are the received versions which are going to be transferred to the receiver. Once if this S and R information are received, and the receiver will do the calculation, and he'll be doing this calculation. W is equal to S dash inverse and mod Q. Whatever the value which has been received, S dash is the received version of S1. Simply we say that which is S1 only, S1 inverse and mod Q, and similarly they will be finding a to calculate which is U1, which will be based on this formula H and M dash. M dash is again received message value as function M value and followed by the W which we calculated using this step and mod Q, and followed by U2 which is they'll be using the received versions of R, and followed by this W which we calculated in the first step and mod Q. Once if we calculated this U1 and U2 and W, so in the signature part we'll be generating R and S. When we talk about the verification part, we'll be using two components, or we'll be calculating two components, U1 and U2. So based on these two values, right, the user will test, or first they will calculate V, which is equal to alpha of our U1. Alpha is the primitive root, and what is this Y? Y is the public key of sender. What was the formula which we used to calculate the public key? Alpha of our XA mod Q. So try to understand this receiving or verifying part which will be carried out at the receiver side. So for whatever I explained, the signature component R1, S1, so these are generated at the sender side. I hope now you are clear. From this point, whatever the operation we are performing here, all these operations are carried out at the receiver end, right? So at the end of this operation, we already we calculated U1 value and then U2 value, and followed by V value will be calculated, which is alpha power U1 and Y power U2 mod P and mod Q. So here we will get the value which is equal to V. So now whatever the V value which we are calculating, that is going to be compared with the received value of R, which is R dash. So now this V value and then R value to be compared. If the values are matched, that means that the digital signature is achieved. That is that the data has been coming from the authenticated users. If the values are not matching, receiver will assume that the message is not coming from an authenticated user. Sorry, by mistake, I just turned off my videos. Just now I noticed it. Okay. So any doubt regarding the concept which I explained so far? The formula might be little difficult to remember, but when you work into the problems, definitely you will understand and you can easily remember once you are solving the problem. Are you all clear with the algorithm steps? The simple logic here is that here you need to remember is here in the center end we just calculated the values, the two values which is R and S. Now based on this R and S value which has been received, right? This information which are going to be transferred to the receiver will do the values or calculate the values for U1 and U2. Based on this U1 and U2 value, and they will be calculating V. Now the V which is going to compare with this R, they will compare whether these two values are equal. If it is equal, then they will assume that the message is coming from an authenticated user. Otherwise, they will not consider that whether the message is coming from the authorized users or authenticated users. By the way, this digital signature algorithm, right, which proves an authentication whether the message is coming from an authenticated user or not. Any doubts regarding the explanation part, theoretical explanation part? I request all of you to be ready with your cameras or any devices which you are using for calculation so that we'll start immediately. One second. Okay. Any queries? You can write in the chat box. Any queries? Can you explain the receiver's side again? Okay, Anushka, I can explain. Then any other? Okay. So here, these are the certain operations which has to be carried out at the receiver end. I'll be repeating the receiver end part where the verification is carried out as per the comments or the request received. Right. So here, so in the previous, I was explaining about the sender will generate two components based on these operations. Right. I was explaining about p value and then the q value which is equal to p minus 1 alpha value xa ya k value. Based on this, user will generate two values using the signature part. They'll generate two values which is r and s. Now this r and s information will be transferred to the receiver. Let's here the receiver b is there. We will receive this r and s, r, s, and the global values. When we talk about the common global parameters which we are using for uh, rs algorithm or diffie-Hellman key exchange algorithm, right? That the common global parameters are the values which are known commonly by the sender as well as receiver. So here, what are the common global values? Which p value, q value which is p minus 1, alpha value, x of a is the common global value. Anyone can write in the chat box whether x a or x is the common global value or not. Anyone can quickly write in the chat box. I'm waiting for your replies. Whether xa is the common global value. Common global value is nothing but yes. Very good, Adesh. I appreciate your answer. It is very correct answer because XA is the private key, so it is not a global value which is only known by the specific users. Other than the intended users, no other users will know about the keys, right? So it is not a common global value. But the YFA is the public key which can be shared to the receivers, right? YFA is the public key, so which can be shared. So based on this information, p value, q value, alpha value, and then y value, and followed by the message value or hash message value, and followed by what else? Y, yeah, already I mentioned, and alpha, yes. Okay. So based on this value and followed by this r and s value, and the verification will be carried out at the receiver end. Right, this verification will be carried out the receiver end. First w, you can use either variable, there is no restriction, w, u1, u2, anything, but the first operation will be carried out with the received value of yes, right? S dash, here the dash, whatever the dash which you see here, s dash, r dash, and then m dash are the received versions, right? If you neglect this dash, that will not cause any issues. You can use as it is, right? S dash inverse and mod q, right? Here we'll be using the inverse operation, right? And followed by u1 will be calculated this h of m. H of m is the hash applied message. I hope you are clear with what is the hash function. Any doubt regarding the hash function? Hash function, right? I'll be explaining the next chapter also. Before that, So if any information, hash function is a public function. I can explain it again if required. Again, hash function is a public function which is used to check the integrity whether the message which has been delivered to the receiver without any modifications. Say for example, this is what the information which has to be transmitted. But out of this, if any public function, say for example, I am selecting my hash function in such a way that if I can select the first letter, sorry, second letter, and then the fourth letter and sixth letter. So this will form a value which is A, P, T. Now this will be called as hash code or message digest, right? This information will be added with my actual information, which is SAMPATH followed by APT. Now, this information which is going to be transferred to the receiver, receiver will receiving this information SAMPATH and APT. Receiver will be notified about the size of the hash code. As per my function which I use, my hash code size is 3. It will be separating this actual information as well as the hash code. Also, receiver will be intimated about the function which is used. Here the function I use is the second letter, second letter, fourth letter, and sixth letter. Suppose if the formula is informed to the receiver and he is selecting the second letter which is A and then fourth letter P and followed by sixth letter T. Now these two values which are going to be compared, APT and APT. So if the values are matches, so that means that during the transmission, this data which is not altered. Suppose if this is what the data which I transmitted, but receiver received here instead of P, suppose if there is K. Now receiver will do the calculation again. So instead of P, he'll be getting K, APT, and he'll be comparing with AKT. So this data which is not matching. So in that cases, the receiver will assume that during the data transmission, someone hacked the data and he modified the corresponding bits. But for easy understanding, I took the characters. But when we talk about the hash function, where it is a bit by bit encoding process, bit by bit conversion process, even if there is a one bit change, so that will give an error. I hope now you are clear about the hash function. Any doubts regarding the hash function, you can quickly write in the chat box if you have any queries. Any queries? Okay, Anushka, I'm getting a reply from you here. And I'm waiting for others' reply also. If you have any queries, you can quickly write in the chat box or you may unmute and ask your query. Okay, so if you are clear, then I'll be moving to this part. So where we'll be generating this U, which is based on this received, I mean hash coded value followed by W, which we calculated here, and all this information which are going to apply to the mod, so that will reduce the value to the within this range. And very similarly, second will be the U2, which is R multiplied by W and followed by this mod Q. So at the end, we'll be having these two values, U1, U2. So how we have this R, S value, which are the component of signature. Now these are the two values, two components for verifications. So after calculating this value, and we'll be applying the formula which is V is equal to alpha power U1, Y power U2. So here this alpha and Y are the common global values, primitive root and the public key of A, and power U1 and U2 respectively, and mod P and mod Q, and which will use the V value. So now we are going to compare whether V is equal to R1 or not. If the values are equal, then the digital signature is achieved. I hope now this is clear. So let me try to understand the concepts more. with solving a problem, so that will give more clarity on the concept. Okay, so I'll take a simple problem which already I've solved, right? So that you will get clear understanding. My the q value which I'm selecting here, my q value is equal to 19, which is a prime number. What is the first step? Which is a prime number, and followed by primitive root, which is 10. I explained what is meant by a primitive root, right? If you take any primitive root, right? How this can be? Suppose you may get a question that prove 10 is the primitive root of 19. How you will prove? So you need to find 10 power 1 mod 19 and 10 power 2 mod 19 and 10 power 3 mod 19 and 10 power 4 mod 19 till, so 10 power 18 mod 19. So all these values which you will be getting, it can be any random order, but all these results you will be getting again 1 to 18 only. So if this condition satisfies, so then 10 will be the primitive root of 19, and followed by the next step is that selection of a private key. So here the x of a value which is 16, and followed by this ya, which will be calculated alpha power xa mod p. P or q. I'm using a different values. Forget about, I mean, don't get confused. We can use any variables, right? So here q, as per the example which I took, right, which is my alpha value is equal to 10. So 10 power xa, which is 16 mod 19. Can anyone do the calculation and tell me the answers? I already have calculated, but you can do it from your end. How so this can be performed? So you can take it in a simple way. 10 power 4 mod 19. By the way, so this can be carried out for repeated for 4 times. What are the value you are getting? You can do the calculation and tell me the answers. You can unmute. I'm not reading the chat box now. 10 power 16 mod 19. I hope you are all working parallelly. You are all solving the problem. 10 power 16 mod 19. So we can do this in such a way that, which is, so 10 power 4, which is mod 19. Got the answers? Any answers? What is the answer for this? And this has to be multiplied 4 times. I hope you are all working parallelly and you are doing the calculations. Am I audible? What is the answer are you getting? 10 power 16 mod 19. Your active participation is expected from everyone. Otherwise, it is very difficult for you also for me to collaborate. Answer is too large. You can divide. Anushka, if you feel that, see, simply you can take this 10 power 4 instead. See, always try to remember that when you are not supposed to take 10 power 16 directly, instead 10 power 4 mod 19 multiplied by 10 power 4 mod 19 multiplied by 10 power 4 mod 19. So this is what I was telling. This has to be repeated for 4 times. So 10 power 4 mod 19. And whatever the result you are getting, so that will be the final mod 19. I can explain this if you want again. I think 4. Abid Dakkanwala has mentioned the answer, which is, now what is the answer for that? So 10 power I can okay, which is, so 10 power 16 mod 19. So which is 10 power 4 mod 19 into, so 10 power 4 mod 19. So 10 power 4 mod 19 multiplied by 10 power 4 mod 19. So 10 power 4 is the 4 value mod 19. So what is the result for this? 10 power 4 mod 19. Point 315 multiplied by 19 is 6. I'm getting the value here as 6. Multiply, it has to be multiplied for 4 times 6, 6, 6, 6, which is uh, 6, 4, 4, which is 1296. 1296 mod 19. 1296 1296 mod 90 8.205 1210 so 0.215 multiplied by 19. I'll get the answer is 4. All of you are getting this result. How many of you got? How many of you got this value? Okay. So most of you got the correct value. So I hope even I was solved it parallelly, right? If you face any difficulties, you can follow these steps so that we can understand how the mod value has been grabbed as a 4. So here, once if we did the calculations, which is YFA value which is equal to 4. I'll erase some of the part. So which is YA, which is, so 10 power 16 mod 19, which is equal to, so YA is equal to 4, and followed by the next step is that M is the plain text which has been put in, right? And followed by this, the value, you can select any random value which k is equal to 5. But selecting that value, there is a constraint, right? You need to follow that the GCD between this, the k and the q, which is, I just, which is a prime divisor, which is 19 minus 1, which is 18, right? So that the p minus 1 value and followed by this the 5 or the k, right? The GCD should be 1, right? So here I can select a 5. So the GCD between these 5 and 18 to be 1. After that, I'm going to calculate the S value, which is alpha power y value, alpha power k. What is the formula here which we use, right? And the, so once if we calculate all the values, say for example, my k value is equal to 5. After that, I need to generate a two component, which is signature component r comma yes, right? You can use any variables, even I can use a different variables. Don't get confused with the variables what is associated, right? right? So next, here the value, right? You can use this can be considered as the R and S, or you can use S1, S2, any values. It doesn't matter, right? And the formula for this value, which is equal to, which is alpha power k, which is alpha power k mod. See, mod phi followed by mod q minus 1, which is directly I can write, which is 18, because this is p minus 1, which is 19 minus 1, which is equal to 18. What is my alpha value, which is we selected here, which is 10, and followed by my k value, which we selected here, which is 5. So 10 power 5 mod 18. What is the result for this 10 power 5 mod 18? 10 power 5, which is 10 mod 18, which I get 9.9, and which equals to 10. So this is R or S1. You can use either variable, right? So which is 3. Only I am getting 10 power 5, right? 10 power 5 mod, sorry, 10 power 5 mod 19, which is the Q value. So 10, sorry, I did a mistake. 10 power 5 mod 19. 0.1578. Here you get, sorry, this is a Q value, right? So after this calculation, you will get the value which is equal to 3. So S1 value which is equal to 3, and followed by, right, we need to find the K inverse value, right? When we talk about the K inverse value, already we selected the K value which is equal to 5. I hope you can understand, right? So K inverse mod Q minus 1, here in the formula you might have find this word K inverse and H of M minus XA and multiplied by this S1, right? Here this inverse value, how this multiplicative inverse can be calculated here is, already we selected my K value is equal to 5, and followed by, see here, this is the formula. So 5 multiplied by any value, right, and mod 18, that should give the remainder value to be 1. If I multiply with the 5, 5 into 1, 5, 5 mod 18. So here 18 is that the Q minus 1, or the P minus 1 value, which is, right, which is 18. So 5, if I take my 1 value, x value is equal to 1. So 5 into 1, 5. 5 mod 18, I'll get 5. If I take 5 into 2, which is 10. So 10 mod 18, I'll get 10. If I take my value is equal to 3, 15 mod